Okay, guys, Sam V here, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. So, have you guys ever heard of the Irate Gamer? If you guys don't know who the Irate Gamer is, he's mostly kind of been well known on YouTube over the years for his video game reviews, and unfortunately, he's kind of been pretty well known for his plagiarism of the Angry Video Game Nerd back in the day. I mean, there's on YouTube you can find not hundreds, but tons of documentaries talking about the Irate Gamer and talking about the history of his stuff. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today we're going to be talking about something that happened recently. So I just want to show you guys this. So I'm personally subscribed to the Irate Gamer. It's like uh, I personally enjoy a lot of his content, so I've kind of been watching him a lot. And really, ever since the pandemic started, whenever he made his comeback, I've been watching his content again. Now, there's something you should know about the Irate Gamer that isn't really brought up a whole lot. So first of all, I'm gonna be calling him by his real name, Chris Bores. By the way, that's his real name. He plays the character, the Irate Gamer. And the thing is that for the most part, he has just been doing like pretty standard fare video game reviews. These are some of the newer ones he's been doing lately since 2020. But he's been doing a TV show or a web show rather called Ghost Doctor. Now, this is gonna be important later on, but for those who don't know, Chris Bores does have a lot of ghost hunting videos on his channel. And we'll come back to this later, but he has a series called Ghost Doctor where he and his friends explore like abandoned areas and talk about like hauntings. It's this whole ghost adventure sort of deal. Let's see, like where is it? Right here, there it is. Yeah. And that's basically what Ghost Doctor more or less is. It's just like a series about all these different kinds of hauntings. It's pretty interesting, but the thing is, like, we'll come back to this later. But I want to tell you guys about this video. So I've been wanting to talk about this for a few days now. He posted this on Saturday. This is a video called "Doctor Disrespect is a microcosm of online gamers. Prepare." This was a very unexpected video for Chris to talk about. Like, I don't think anybody saw this coming. It just kind of appeared randomly one day. Like this was just like a day after he announced his big 100th episode that he was going to be doing. What was it? Which is coming out on Friday, so he's still doing that. But then out of nowhere, he starts talking about like this recent piece of news, which I don't know who Doctor Disrespect is. I did look a little bit into it, but basically, from what I could gather, he's a Twitch streamer who was recently he was recently like called out for alleged allegations that he was a part of for grooming. I believe so. Again, I've never heard of him until now, so I'm not entirely sure, but that's basically like what I was able to get out of it. And other people have been talking about it, but if you don't know about it, that's not too important to what we're talking about here. But this is just something kind of interesting that he uploaded. So the Irate Gamer talked about this Doctor Disrespect guy, kind of just out of nowhere. It's like none of us were expecting him to do this. Which I mean, that's fine and all. It's like he wants to give his input on it, but that's cool. But it's kind of weird because like I do remember once in a live stream not too long ago, he said that like he doesn't really keep up with the current gaming scene. He mostly sticks to the retro stuff. So this was kind of weird seeing him talk about this, but I want to show you guys like what he had to say.
Hey guys, so I'm breaking character for this video, and I want to talk about a few things that have gone viral lately around an individual named Doctor Disrespect.
By the way, sorry if it sounds a little echoey. By the way, it's because of the screen recorder that I'm using here. It's not the one I usually use when recording footage. I'm just using like the one from my editing software because I figured it'd be easier to do like a reaction style deal, when talking about this video. So that's basically what I'm going to be going for. So sorry about that. But you'll be able to more or less see what it is. But I'll put the links to the video in the description below if you guys want to check it out.
And if you don't know who that is, there's some things online going around now where he has done some lewd conduct with a minor. And I've alluded to certain things over the past couple of years with YouTube and the whole top echelon of celebrity that's been going on that I was kind of privy to, and I've been waiting for something like this to kind of happen to talk about it because when things like this happen, people have a frame of reference and they can uh, relate to it better. So I've been waiting for this, but let me first say that what's going on now is just the tip of the iceberg, and I want to do videos like this to kind of prepare you, because when this stuff comes out, it's just going to blindside you. You're just going to be like, what?
Okay, so notice how he said that he wants to prepare us for something. So keep that in mind as we're going through this. Just wait and see like where he goes with this.
I was in a weird
That's the
position back in
keyword,
2012
prepare.
where I was the 55th most subscribed channel on YouTube, and I was approached, and they came to me with some pretty interesting things. So after I learned this stuff, I learned very quickly that the people that are on top of YouTube, some of the top people, be careful who you put your trust in. I see a lot of people defend these people online, and I'm just like, you gotta be careful. There is a whole hidden world that you guys do not know about, and more is going to come out. Let me just say, we are in the time now of revelations. We are in the time of a lot of stuff coming out that whistleblowers and things like that. It's good.
So like he's saying all this stuff about how you should like be careful who you put your trust in, and how we're living in a current age of revelations, which I see where he's coming from, even if it is a pretty basic way that he's saying all this. I mean, yeah, he's right. You always be careful who you trust in, but the way he's saying it, like he's talking about the people on top of YouTube, which I don't know if he meant like the people who work at YouTube or the big YouTubers themselves. But let's listen a little further. Sorry.
Going to come out, and let me just say, in the gaming community specifically, a lot of the people that are on the top of this field, they have a lot of inner demons. Okay, and people like Doctor Disrespect, this persona that they take on derives from the personal demons. Okay, and people that tend to, like, I'm a student of psychology. People that play a lot of video games are they play games because it's a coping mechanism. They, like I said, they've got a lot of inner demons, maybe from childhood, for whatever, but they use video games as a coping mechanism.
So he's not wrong about that per se, but the way he says it definitely makes it sound kind of broad. Like he's saying that he doesn't clarify like what he means by that. So are you saying that Doctor Disrespect plays games for that reason, or do you mean like people in general? Is that why they play games? Like, is that why you specifically play video games? Like he mentioned that he's a student of psychology, yeah, but I feel like he should make that clear too.
So when you see these people online, a lot of people over the years that are gaming people, you see a lot of sexual misconduct. You see a lot of allegations coming out. I don't want to name any names. It's not who I am. I don't want to stir the pot. But people in this type of psychological situation, they go to video games because what it does, especially video games right now where they have this open world environment, which I find disgusting, because people can get lost. They can create this false reality around them, and I think it's by design. I think this is exactly what these gaming companies want to do, and we have things like gaming, video gaming. Addictions now, which is a terrible thing to have. And people always ask me, like, why are you so into the ghost world? And it's because I find spirits are in a similar problem. They are stuck in these patterns that, because of coping mechanisms, they've created this false world around them, and they make things horrible, the conditions horrible for the people around them. And I like trying to solve the problems of pushing them out and pushing them where they go. So in the video game world, yeah, we find a lot of the same thing.
So that escalated pretty quickly, as you saw. So he started talking a bit about how games are open world now, which again, that's a very broad term. I don't know what he meant by that, but he said that, and he said that he thinks he said that he doesn't like it because he feels that it sort of opens the gates a lot, and he feels that the game publishers or game developers intentionally made it that way. Which I mean, when you put it that way, it definitely sounds more like into conspiracy territory. Like that sounds like something that my crazy uncle would probably say, like about how he's being followed by the drones. Like the government put them up to that. It's like the game developers, they're they're intentionally designing it like that. Like that's honestly kind of what I got from that part. And then out of nowhere, he starts talking about the ghost world, which I told you this was going to come back later on. This was the series that he would do where he would talk with ghosts. Which, it's like there is also videos of him being interviewed on the local news about his ghost hunting escapades. Which I didn't know if these were like real or not. Like I wasn't sure if it was like a scripted series or not. Which I don't know, but from what I could gather, yeah, Chris does believe in ghosts. I mean, that's fine and all. Like if he believes, that's totally fine. I'm not gonna judge him for that. It's like that's cool if he believes that personally. Let's see. Like Chris Wars was on Hardcore Bond, really? Huh, I know that. It's kind of interesting. I'll look into that some other time. But yeah, basically he what was it? So, and that's basically like what he was doing is that he's been doing these ghost hunting videos. So like I can't say whether or not the videos are real. That depends on like your views on this sort of topic. If you think ghosts are real or not, but they're real in the sense that he does believe that ghosts exist. He believes in the spirit world, and that's what he's going on about here. Which, again, I'm not judging him for that. Everyone's entitled to their own beliefs. That's fine if you want to believe in that. But he's talking about this in a video about Doctor Disrespect and his scandal, this real world scandal, and then he starts talking a bit about the ghost world after he said that stuff about how he's making these assumptions about the game developers making open world games for a sinister agenda. It's like this kind of sounds like conspiratorial discussions in a way. Like it feels like the mindset of a conspiracy theorist. But like, let's listen a little more to what he says. Let's listen a little more.
And it's sad. And if you've kind of followed my plight over the years, you'll know that I don't really hang out with other YouTubers. I don't really do things with them. And even from the beginning, I was ousted by the gaming community, and because they're very cliquey. They're very cliquey. They have their own people that they go to, and when you really break this down, it's because at a spiritual level, they know I'm not a part of the vibration that they resonate at.
Okay, that right there that was like the nail in the coffin for me. I mean, this whole thing just seemed kind of crazy at first, but then he outright said that like the spirit world is able to detect that. Like, let's listen again.
It's because at a spiritual level, they know I'm not a part of the vibration that they resonate at.
At a spiritual level, they know. At a spiritual level, so basically that's the equivalent of saying that the spirits have called down upon him, and the ghosts are telling him all this stuff. The voices in his head, basically. So,
right from the get go, they're like, this. It's more than. If you think this is all about the whole against being against Irate Gamer that was like all about he's just copying games and blah 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 blah. No, it's more deeper than that. I've seen people who are worse offenders and nothing happened.
Okay. Do you care to name any examples? And also, it's like, yeah, you're not wrong. Like what you did was bad, but not that bad to the point where everyone hated on you. Like, I do understand why some people hated Chris, because there were times where, yeah, he did directly lift lines and plagiarized jokes and scenes from the nerd. I understand that. I'm recording. Sorry. I mean, sorry, guys. But yeah, like I understand what he's trying to say there, but I get that, but at the same time, the hate was kind of overblown. But my question here is, why is he talking about this here? Like, he's talking about a scandal involving a Twitch streamer who was, allegedly assaulted a girl. Or again, I'm not entirely sure, but that's what I got from this. and he's going on about the ghost world, his own conspiracy theories in a way. So I don't know what he's trying to accomplish here.
They singled me out, and it's because they saw at a spiritual level that I am not part of them. I'm not part of them. And you're going to see, like I said, you're going to see a lot of stuff come out. And I'm hoping it's sooner rather than later.
So, like, he's doing that whole thing where he's saying that the people on top, they're the ones that aren't being punished, you know, even though he doesn't name any examples. So it's like, who are you talking about? You said in a stream once that you don't really keep up with the current gaming scene all that much. So how do you know about this? Chris is one of the last people I expect to be part of the Twitch community personally. I'm not even really that deep into it, and I could already tell that this is out of his field. So why is he talking about this?
About what these guys are up to. And I'm probably going to get a lot of crap for this. You can make fun of me, whatever, but I know just what I've seen. I was approached by YouTube, and the things they threw at me were like, "Ooh, that's enticing." But no, there was an element of selling your soul, and I did not want to do that.
But like, again, like, do you care to explain more about that? So like, well, they asked you to be part of like partnerships, but you said you didn't want to do it because you feel like you were selling your soul. But like, this is the Irate Gamer show. For most of its run, you had your show hosted with a different group, Got Game. That's a partnership, you know. And it's not like you were really selling your soul. Like, you still got to do your show. From what I've heard, you haven't really had any sort of like pushback from them. I'm pretty sure they gave you creative freedom, judging by what you were able to do on the show, from what I've seen. And you know, it's like, I mean, they allowed you to go to conventions to interview people, and you'll go to E3, interview all the game developers and everything like that. Like, it seemed pretty normal at that point. So, were you not selling your soul then? Like, were you willing to sell your soul to Got Game, but not to YouTube? But what do you mean by that?
And so when you see people like, I hate to say it, Mr. Beast. I saw a couple pictures of him recently where he was kind of like on this island-like setting, kind of Epstein Island ish.
Like, do I even need to say anything to that? Epstein Island ish, Mr. Beast? Like, what? Do I even need to say anything to that? This literally sounds like the ramblings of a crackhead down the street. Like, literally, if I were to find a crackhead down my neighborhood, they would probably say the same thing. Like, but you could replace Mr. Beast with any other big figure who would be caught dead in a scandal like this, and it would have the same effect. You know, it's like, I remember one time I heard like there was like a drug addict like in my neighborhood. He was like screaming something about the president. You know, or this one drag was like screaming about Charles Manson. Like, Charles Manson sexually assaulted me. It's like, these are the inane ramblings of a crackhead is what I'm getting at. It's like, and this is the Irate Gamer, Chris Bors. He's randomly talking about this just out of nowhere.
I don't want to go down too much down that rabbit hole because he is kind of like a front for YouTube. You do not get into that position without being what's the word I'm looking for? Vetted by YouTube, where they open up the algorithm to him. So they're
I mean, it's like, I guess they did, but why are you talking about this? Like, just notice like how we're almost done with this 8-minute long video, and only like a minute and a half has been talking about Dr. Disrespect. So it's like, no, it's not even about the scandal. It's about him talking about this whole thing about this more conspiratorium based discussion about how Mr. Beast is in control. Like, he's the one being controlled by YouTube. YouTube controls who does and doesn't get featured. It's like, what is the point of talking about this in this particular video?
There's a reason why he's on top, and you see the people he pals around with. That just says
like
it all. So just know there's a bigger.
Go into more detail is what I'm trying to get at. It's like, I don't know a whole lot about all of this. I know like well enough, but not a whole lot where I could see his point, because it's like he's going on and on about this stuff. I don't know anything about what he's talking about because it just feels so conspiratorial is what I'm getting at.
World out there. than you guys are privy to, even in the worlds of magic. And I'm not talking Magic the Gathering. I'm talking about real magic. And if you don't want to believe in it, it exists. I've seen glimpses of it. I've been at E3. I've seen some interesting things there. And once more of the stuff's coming out, I'll talk more about it. But I'm giving you a glimpse now. And all I can say is get ready. Get ready. You guys have no idea what you're in for. And I implore you, just if you're depressed, it's probably linked to video games. Put the video games down.
It's like it really just feels like a bunch of inane ramblings, doesn't it? So it's like 1 minute he's talking about magic and ghosts and all this stuff. He's talking about conspiracies, and then he's talking about how video games cause depression. And so yeah, guys, the irate gamer told us that hey, put the video games down. You know what I mean? That's my biggest problem with this video is that like there's no semblance of a script or anything. He went off the cuff here. You know what I mean? It's like the whole video is like this. He just goes from one point to the next, and like with no real transition in between anything.
I myself don't play many video games, and I had a lot of demons in the past as well growing up, and it took a long time to overcome those. And if I didn't, who knows where I'd be now. But yeah, I hope you guys, fans, followers, haters as well. The person that you see, the Irate Gamer persona, is just a character. That's not who I am. I don't like tearing people down. I want the best for everybody. I pray for you all. I want the best for everyone. And as humanity as a whole, I hope we can just come together and stop fighting and bickering and all this stuff. So yeah, this first footsteps I hope that we can take is to get past this and understand what's going on.
I don't really, but I didn't understand any of that. Like what? So he starts having like this whole message about how we could all come together near the end, but he says like he's saying that this is like the first step. So what's the first step? Doctor Disrespect being called out for what he did? Like, do you see what I mean when I say like it sounds like a crackhead talking about all this stuff? Like this sounds like the stuff you would hear out of a drug addict, like genuinely. The part where he says that like you're going to be seeing all this stuff, guys. You're going to be seeing all this. You're going to be seeing the great beyond. You're going to see the plan that whoever is out there has planned out for us. This grand plan. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. So like I was just like watching YouTube, and then I got this at my notifications. This was 2 days ago. He uploaded this on Saturday, right? He uploaded this on Saturday, and like none of us were expecting this. It's like nobody was. I thought, okay, he's talking about a gaming story at the moment. There's like a scandal going on that's kind of interesting, but I just wasn't expecting all this. And, I haven't seen much of Ghost Doctor. I've only seen like a little bit of it, and that was like way back when. I didn't really think much about it because it seemed like just like pretty standard fare ghost hunting videos. It seemed like that's all it really was. But and whenever there is a video of him being interviewed by his local news about his ghost hunting, so I wasn't sure if like that was just like scripted for the show or if he actually believed. But now I know for a fact that yeah, he does believe in ghosts. He believes in a lot of this. He believes in that, which again, I had no problem with him believing in ghosts. That's fine, the paranormal. But he's doing it in the same video, talking about YouTube and its conspiracies and like how there's a reason Mr. Beast is at the top. It's like he mentioned that whole thing about him being on an island and called it an Epstein Island. It's like what? I just can't help but find this hilarious. It's like this was the most unexpected thing to ever just like come out of this channel. Like literally, like it's like 1 second you're seeing the Irate Gamer just doing his thing, talking about video games and stuff from the 80s, like the Batman burger. He's doing all that, and then like a few days earlier, before all this, like was it a few days earlier? Here's another one of his Ghost Doctor series. But literally just like 1 day before this whole Doctor Disrespect video was uploaded, he just teased his 100th episode coming out, and now he made this random video talking about Doctor Disrespect. So I don't even know. I don't even know how we got here. This is just the most random thing I've ever seen. But it's just fascinating to me, and he says that he'll talk more about it later. So you guys know what that means. There's gonna be another video about this at some point. I am so ready to see what he's gonna do. I am so ready for that because that is gonna be just amazing. Like wow, like the Irate Gamer, man. Like wow. There is like more. It's like maybe it'll be like a live stream. Like he hasn't live streamed since over a year, but about a month ago he came back with these two streams. I haven't actually seen this one out though. I saw the last few minutes of it, but like I missed the stream, so I didn't know exactly what was happening. But I know this is a video where like he's there with one of his kids. But wait, look in the corner it says Ghost Doctor. Why does it say Ghost Doctor in the corner? Like, this whole thing is just so fascinating to me. It's like I honestly don't even know what to say other than the fact that we are just living in the craziest timeline right now, where the Irate Gamer is telling us about all these conspiracies. What? It's like it's like this is his revenge in a way. It's like I wonder if this is like his revenge for like all these years. We've made fun of him all these years for like for allegedly ripping off James and generally just being kind of not very funny, which that's subjective. I think he can be funny, but it's not the funniest show. I'll admit, but it's like this is his revenge after all these years. It's, he just came up with this. It's like he's gonna let us know like what's really been going on behind the scenes, like what's really happening. Yeah. I, I didn't want to judge him. I didn't want to judge him for being in the paranormal, but after watching this, I just gotta ask: is he okay? Like, is he on drugs? It's like, he said that he was like a psychology student, and I really hope that his teacher keeps an eye on him. Like, I hope that he's doing all right though. For like really, because this was just the most unexpected thing to ever come out of this entire channel. Never in a million years would I have expected him to do this. Yeah. I just don't even know what else to say.